Well, a lot of parents are upset and they have a lot of questions right now, all because of a New Mexico Tricon, what was going on at the Santa Ana Star Center this weekend, and someone who was there.
Yeah, it turns out a convicted sex offender was volunteering at the comic book event. And get this, promoters say they knew about it. A parent emailed us about 47-year-old William Stewart. He was convicted of sexual assault against a child in Wisconsin back in 1993. He is still a registered sex offender today.
I would like to know these things ahead of time.
I would have chaperoned or arranged for a group to come with them. I definitely wouldn't have brought my 9-year-old.
Now, promoters for the event say they did not break any rules by allowing Stewart to volunteer.
There's no screening process because there's no authority given to them. They have no responsibility. There would be no reason to ask that question.
They said Stewart's responsibilities did not involve close contact with children. Stewart spoke with us off camera. He told us he made a bad decision 20 years ago and has been abiding by the law ever since. Police say there were no incidents involving Stewart at the event.
A father in Albuquerque in jail right now, accused of abusing his own baby. Investigators say that early last month, this young man, Sean Guthrie, admitted he shook the baby because the baby wouldn't stop crying. Police say Guthrie told them the baby's lips turned blue, but officers say Guthrie didn't do anything about it until Friday, nearly a month later, when a doctor at UNM Hospital called police saying the baby looked like it had been abused and had bleeding around the brain. Guthrie's being held on a $100,000 bond. A funeral plans are now being set for a man who died in a head-on crash this weekend. This happened about 11:30 yesterday morning on US 285 south of Ojo Caliente. Rio Arriba County Sheriff's deputies say one car was going south. It slammed into another car head-on in a no-passing zone. The driver of that car going south died. A 6-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl who were in that car were both rushed to the hospital. So was the driver of the other car. Deputies have not said who was killed or how the people at the hospital are doing.
2 people are in the hospital right now after being stabbed at a house party that got way out of control. It all happened Friday night on Arno Street in southeast Albuquerque. Alejandro Valdez faced a judge yesterday after being arrested on aggravated battery charges. Police say he stabbed a man at the party. Marisol Zamora was also arrested that night for child abuse. According to the criminal complaint, Zamora supplied beer for the party. Cops say her 2 kids were present during the party, the youngest only 6 years old. The victims in the party were rushed to the hospital. No word on their conditions.
Some sad statistics to tell you about now. More people are dying on New Mexico's highways this year than in the past. The state Department of Transportation says there's been a 25% jump in the number of people killed in crashes in the first 9 months of this year, and a 20% jump in people killed in crashes where alcohol is involved. This is all compared to last year. The state says it doesn't know why these numbers are up. And speaking of DWI, about 40 people in and around Albuquerque will probably face a judge today because investigators say all of them were drinking and driving this weekend. On Friday, Albuquerque police arrested 12 people on DWI charges and seized 1 car at a checkpoint near Central on Broadway, while Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies say they arrested 11 more. Then on Saturday night, 16 more people, the ones you see here, were arrested on drunk driving charges. Well, in just a few hours, one of the old motels around Route 66 is going to start a major transformation.
Yes, next summer it will be a housing project for people living with HIV and AIDS. Our News 13's David Romero is live at the lot on the corner of 11th and Central with details. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Well, groundbreaking is set to take place in just a few hours, and of course it's a major undertaking, but with a big payout on the other end. Now, this place behind me used to be the Sleepy Hollow Motor Court. This is, of course, along Route 66 and near 11th Street, and now it's going to become a place where it can help people who are affected by HIV and AIDS, not only giving them a place to live, but have help for them available, including health and wellness. Now, it's a $1.5 million project. It's set to wrap up by August of next year. Representatives from the New Mexico AIDS Services say in taking over the property, a lot of care will have to be taken for the renovation and construction of the facility. In the end, the old rooms will be turned into 10 housing units. The tenants will have on-site supportive services as well as a common place where people living there can meet up.
We're looking forward to being able to provide the community with a great project, and while maintaining the historical nature of the property and continuing to provide great services and be a contributing member of this wonderful community.
And part of that historical nature of the property means kind of keeping the look that it's had all these years, and a number of organizations are contributing to this project getting underway. Those include the City of Albuquerque, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and of course the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority. Elizabeth, back to you.
All right, what a great thing, David. Thank you. By the way, the look at the building will coincide with the signature look of Old Route 66.